The city felt restless after midnight. Rain sliding down motel windows, while distant sirens echoed softly through empty neon roads. Inside a forgotten roadside jazz lounge, the lights burned dark red and gold, and the trumpet carried warnings only lonely hearts could hold. A tired man sat beside the jukebox, whiskey trembling in his hand, watching cigarette smoke disappear like trust he no longer understands. Some nights the soul senses danger before the truth fully appears, like cold wind moving through a doorway, or silence growing strange in your ears. The piano rolled low and uneasy, soft as footsteps in another room, while the upright bass moved slowly like thunder before the doom. If you're far away from the one you love, sleeping alone beneath motel light, and suddenly your spirit wakes you deep in the middle of the night. That feeling crawling through your chest, heavy as rain before a flood, might not be jealousy alone, might be something deeper in the blood. Because broken promises travel quietly like shadows beneath the door, and sometimes the heart discovers betrayal before the mind is fully sure. Outside the storm kept building, streetlights flickering, tired and blue, while somewhere across the sleeping city, another love was slipping through. The saxophone cried long and smoky, full of suspicion and regret, the kind of melody born from night. A man wishes he could forget. Maybe trust is the hardest gamble, more dangerous than whiskey or cards, because once doubt enters the doorway, love suddenly feels guarded and scarred. Still no one escapes heartbreak cleanly, no matter how careful they move. eventually learns how fragile devotion can prove. The drummer brushed slow as whispers, like secrets passing through the dark. And every jazz note inside that room sounded like a warning mark. A woman laughed somewhere near the bar, but the sound felt distant tonight, because loneliness can fill a crowded room, even under glowing light. So the old singer leaned toward the microphone, voice rough like a storm-soaked stone, and sang softly to every weary heart, afraid of ending up alone. Not every fear becomes truth, not every shadow means goodbye. But when love begins feeling unfamiliar, even the stars avoid the sky. And some nights the soul senses danger before the truth fully appears, like cold wind moving through a doorway, or silence growing strange in your ears. The city felt restless after midnight, rain sliding down motel windows, while distant sirens echoed softly through empty neon roads. Inside a forgotten roadside jazz lounge, the lights burned dark red and gold, and the trumpet carried warnings only love.
Rain covered the station windows, turning every light into blue flame, while the last train waited quietly, like it already knew my pain. I followed you through the terminal slowly, suitcase heavy in my hand, hoping somehow your footsteps might still choose not to leave again. The loudspeaker echoed softly, cold against the midnight air, and strangers moved like ghosts around us, without knowing heartbreak stood there. Inside the station cafe nearby, a lonely piano played low and slow, mixing with the sound of thunder and distant engines below. I looked into your eyes one last time, searching for something left to save. But some goodbyes arrive already finished,
for the final wave. The trumpet cried through the silence, deep as rivers after rain, and every trembling note tonight felt stitched together from pain. When the train doors closed between us, the whole world seemed to disappear, leaving only reflections on wet glass, and memories still standing here. And slowly the train rolled forward, steel wheels humming through the blue, carrying away the woman who once made loneliness feel untrue. Two fading lights glowed in the distance, one burning pale, one burning red, like love and sorrow traveling together through everything we never said. The blue light carried your shadow, soft as moonlight on the sea, and the red light trailing behind felt like what remained of me. Outside the storm grew heavier, rain racing down the tracks, while midnight swallowed the station whole without promising anything back. I stayed there long after you vanished, long after the final whistle cried, listening to old jazz melodies and the silence you left behind. Because sometimes love changes nothing, no matter how deeply it's true. Sometimes two hearts still separate, even when they don't want to. The drummer brushed soft like fading footsteps, the upright bass walks slow and low, and every smoky little chord tonight refused to let you go. Maybe somewhere beyond these railways you'll remember this rainy night, the trembling music, the station lights, the way we held goodbye too tight. And somewhere beneath the endless dark, where lonely trains forever move, a tired soul keeps standing quietly with a suitcase full of love.
Saturday night rolled loudly through the city, neon dancing on the pouring rain, while laughter spilled from every corner like jazz running through the veins. Inside a crowded little juke cafe, The piano bounced playful and bright, and the whole room moved together under smoky amber light. The trumpet laughed instead of crying tonight, wild and smooth with southern charm, while strangers clinked old whiskey glasses and danced arm in arm. There's something about nights like this that make worries disappear, when music shakes the floorboards and good company pulls you near. A sharp-dressed singer hit the stage, hat tilted low with style, telling stories half ridiculous, half heartbreak, all worthwhile. He sang about wild romances, late night trouble in town, about jealous lovers, backdoor secrets, and reputations breaking down. The drummer snapped a swinging rhythm, the upright bass walked proud and free, and every joke inside the lyrics felt alive with energy. Women laughed beside candlelight, men shouted from the bar, while old jazz melodies kept rolling like trains beneath the stars. Some songs aren't built for sorrow, some aren't meant to make you cry, some exist for crowded dance floors and forgetting the reasons why. Outside the storm kept raging, thunder shaking avenue signs, but inside the cafe felt timeless like joy, surviving hard times. A woman in a red silk dress spun slowly beneath golden light, her smile brighter than the neon, burning through the night. The saxophone burst into motion, fast and playful through the smoke, turning every tired soul inside into people alive with hope. Because sometimes life gets heavy, too many bills, too many blues, and the only cure is music loud enough to make your spirit move. So tonight nobody stayed seated, nobody cared who watched. The whole room danced together, like heartbreak itself got lost. The piano kept rolling hotter, the crowd kept singing along, and somewhere between the laughter and jazz, the whole city felt strong. By closing time, the rain slowed softly, street lights fading silver and gold, while one last trumpet echoed warmly through the cool night air alone. And somewhere beneath those midnight skies, where rhythm and memory blend, a joyful little jazz song carried on, long after the evening end. city always has opinions, especially after midnight, when jazz spills through open windows and strangers judge beneath neon lights. Rain drifted softly across the avenue, turning the sidewalks silver blue, while inside the old cafe downtown, the band played slow and true. The singer leaned into the microphone, voice rough as aged whiskey smoke, and every word carried the weight of lessons hard life spoke. People always talk about somebody, how they love, how they fall, how they dance too close to danger inside dimly lit bars. But lonely hearts learn something eventually. The world judges no matter what, so you might as well live honestly before the lights burn out. The piano rolled smooth tonight, elegant as old black and white films, while couples swayed beneath chandeliers, lost inside private feelings. Maybe freedom is simply this, walking your own road anyway, even while whispers follow behind you like shadows that refuse to fade. If I spend my last dollars on romance, on jazz, on another sleepless night, who really owns the right to tell me that isn't living right? If I choose love despite the heartbreak, choose passion despite the scars, that choice belongs to my soul alone, beneath these smoky stars. The trumpet rises warm and fearless, like a man finally unashamed, no longer hiding his desires just to keep his reputation safe. Because life already moves too quickly, tomorrow never guaranteed, and fear of other people's judgment can become another prison indeed. Outside the rain keeps falling softly, taxis glide through midnight streams, while strangers hurry past each other, still afraid to chase their dreams. But here inside this glowing cafe, jazz makes honesty feel brave, turning every flawed confession into something beautifully human and saved. A woman laughs beside the window, champagne shining in her hand, like she finally stopped apologizing for simply being who she is. The drummer brushes light as freedom, the upright bass walks calm and low, and every melody tonight feels like letting the spirit go. No one escapes mistakes completely, no one survives this life untouched. So maybe the secret is simple: love deeply, live fully, and worry less about judgment.
Because when the final song is over, when the candles fade from view, the only thing that truly matters is whether your soul belonged to you. And somewhere beneath these rainy heavens, where jazz and midnight softly flow, a weary heart keeps singing quietly. Let people talk and let the music go.
Before the sunrise touched the city, I was already dressed to leave. Rain tapping softly on the window, like a memory refusing to sleep. The old jazz station played quietly, trumpet low and warm with pain, while lonely streets outside shimmered under silver morning rain. I searched the dark room slowly, looking for my worn-out shoes, because some mornings arrive carrying those old restless walking blues, the kind that make a man keep moving even when his heart feels tired, the kind born from too many nights of broken trust and fading fire. The piano rolled gentle and smoky, like wheels humming on railroad lines, while the upright bass kept walking through the corners of my mind. Minutes stretched into forever, hours heavy as regret, and every cigarette burned slower than the dawn arriving wet. I kept thinking about my woman, about promises left undone, about all the quiet little battles no two lovers ever truly won. Sometimes love turns cold gradually, like rain wearing down stone, until two people share the same room, yet both still feel alone. The drummer brushed soft as footsteps, slow and tired against the blue, and every jazz refrain this morning sounded like goodbye to you. I wanted things to change somehow, wanted peace inside your eyes, wanted mornings free from sorrow and nights without disguise. But some hearts are born restless, always chasing distant trains, searching for answers in highways
the sunrise, before the city fully woke, leaving behind empty whiskey glasses and words neither of us spoke. Outside the station lights flickered, old engines breathing clouds of steam, like every lonely traveler there was running from a dream. I don't know where this road will lead me. Maybe nowhere, maybe home, but staying inside sadness forever feels worse than being alone. The saxophone rises one last time, warm and aching through the gray, like the sound of a tired soul finally pulling away. And somewhere beyond the highways, past the rain and midnight blues, a wandering heart keeps moving slowly in those old walking shoes.
The storm arrived before dawn, dragging thunder across the sky. While the city slept beneath shadows too heavy for prayers tonight. Inside a lonely roadside jazz bar, a single red lamp burned low, and cigarette smoke curled slowly through the midnight glow. The piano sounded darker this evening, low and haunted like a warning sign, while the trumpet cried through the silence like a soul running out of time. I woke before the sunrise, hearing footsteps at my door, and something cold moved through the hallway like I'd felt somewhere before. The rain kept falling harder, wind rattling every broken frame, and the room smelled faintly of whiskey, dust, and old forgotten shame. Some nights a man confronts himself, not angels, not heaven above, but every reckless road he wandered in the name of broken love. I've walked beside temptation, down highways soaked in sin, searching for peace in strangers and losing pieces deep within. The drummer brushed slow as funeral rain, the upright bass rolled deep and black, while every saxophone note tonight sounded like there was no turning back. A woman once told me softly that darkness follows lonely men, especially those who hide heartbreak beneath charm and confidence.
confidence. Maybe she was right somehow, because the older this life becomes, the more ghosts start gathering quietly when midnight finally comes. Outside the highway, stretched endless, wet beneath pale motel lights, like a road carrying restless souls through endless sleepless nights. Still somewhere inside the music, a fragile beauty remained, because jazz understands suffering without needing it explained. It knows how regret feels at 3 a.m., how memory cuts like rain, how lonely hearts keep dancing slowly, even while carrying pain. The trumpet rises one last time, sharp against the storm outside, and every note feels like confession from a man with nowhere left to hide. Maybe someday the darkness leaves, maybe peace still waits ahead, beyond old bars, beyond lost lovers, beyond the words we never said. Until then, I keep moving forward, past sorrow, past midnight blue, following jazz through rainy highways, like wandering dreamers do. And somewhere beyond the thunder, where moonlight fades from sight, a weary soul keeps walking slowly through the long heart of the night.
The storm arrived before midnight, rolling heavy across the sky, turning neon reflections into rivers beneath the city lights. Rain crashed against the windows, thunder shook the avenue, and somewhere through the static silence, I kept trying to reach you. But every telephone line was dying, every signal fading slow, like the whole world was collapsing under sorrow no one could control. Inside the jazz bar on the corner, candles flickered weak and gold, while the trumpet cried so lonely it made the night feel old. I stood beside the doorway, coat soaked through by rain, watching floodwater rush through streets like memories rushing through my brain. The piano rolled deep and restless, the drummer brushed soft as fear, and every saxophone echo sounded like you
disappearing from here. Dark clouds swallow the skyline, no stars left overhead, only thunder, blue smoke, and words we never said. I kept dialing your number blindly, hoping somehow you'd answer me. But the storm kept tearing through the city, like heartbreak across the sea. Sometimes love feels exactly like weather, beautiful before it breaks, warm until the lightning arrives and leaves destruction in its wake. The bartender poured another whiskey, quietly slid it down the bar, like he already understood how lost lonely people are. Outside the flood kept rising, street signs barely visible now, while strangers hurried through the chaos with soaked coats and lowered brows. And suddenly I realized, maybe this city had changed too much. Too many storms, too many sleepless nights, too little of your touch. So maybe it's time to leave again, drive far beyond this rain, back toward quieter horizons where peace still remains. A place where mornings arrive gently, where skies open clear and gold, where jazz still sounds romantic without carrying so much cold. Maybe somewhere beyond these highways, the heart can finally heal, far from flooded streets and memories that no longer feel real. The upright bass keeps walking slowly, like tires humming through the dark, and every trumpet note tonight feels like one final spark. So I take one last look behind me, at the storm-drenched midnight blue, at the city where I lost myself, trying to hold on to you. And somewhere beyond the thunder, past the rain and endless gray, a weary soul starts driving softly toward brighter skies someday. Midnight spills across the boulevard, neon trembling through the rain, while jazz pours from crowded doorways, like wild desire mixed with pain. The city feels electric tonight, too loud for lonely thoughts to hide. Every street alive with rhythm, every heartbeat amplified. In
inside a smoky downtown lounge. The trumpet screams hot and blue, and couples move beneath dim lights like they've got nothing left to lose. I walk slowly through the avenue, head low against the storm, carrying danger in my silence and charm that still feels warm. Everywhere the night keeps pulling, women laughing through perfume and smoke, their eyes catching fire beneath chandeliers every time a saxophone spoke. But love inside this city never stays simple for long. It twists itself through midnight whiskey and old romantic songs. The piano rolls sharp and restless, the drummer brushes wild and fast, while every reckless little moment feels too beautiful to last. Some women come like thunderstorms, sweet at first, then rough as sin, leaving broken glasses on tables and chaos everywhere they've been. Still somehow I keep chasing that dangerous midnight glow, the kind of passion born in jazz clubs only restless hearts know. One woman danced beside me earlier, velvet dress, dark shining eyes, moving slow beneath amber light, like temptation dressed in disguise. She laughed and leaned in closer, whispered softly through cigarette haze, and suddenly the whole room tilted inside her smoky gaze. But nights like this can burn a soul. Too much fire, too much wine, too many hearts colliding at the wrong place, wrong time. Outside the rain grows heavier, taxis vanish into blue, while sirens echo through distant streets, like old memories coming through. The upright bass keeps walking, deepest thunder underground, and every jazz refrain tonight feels one heartbeat from breaking down. Maybe that's the beauty of midnight. Nobody's fully innocent here. We're all just lonely dreamers trying to outrun fear. Some chase love through strangers, some disappear into smoke, some hide behind loud laughter until the loneliness finally spoke. And me, I keep wandering through music, through candlelight and rain, trying to hold on to romance without drowning in the pain. So tonight the city keeps spinning, while beneath silver skies above,
desire and heartbreak, still dance dangerously close to love.
Tonight feels heavier, like the whole city understands pain. Streetlights trembling through the window, in long rivers of silver rain. Inside the old jazz cafe downtown, the candles burn soft and low, and a lonely saxophone keeps crying for hearts afraid to let go. I watch you sitting quietly, eyes tired beneath dim light, holding a glass untouched for hours, like you've been fighting tears all night. You try to hide your sadness, smile like nothing's wrong, but sorrow always leaves shadows, no matter how hard we stay strong. The man you love keeps hurting you, yet somehow you still remain, holding on to broken promises, like they might someday change. And every time he disappears, every cruel and careless lie, I see another little piece of you slowly begin to die. The piano moves soft as midnight, the drummer brushes slow and blue, while every jazz note in this room feels written entirely for you. I wish you could see yourself the way this lonely city does, beautiful even in heartbreak, still worthy of endless love. Some people confuse suffering with loyalty or devotion, but real love should feel like shelter, not constant storms in motion. He leaves you standing in silence, picking up the damage he creates,
you keep hoping tomorrow will somehow rewrite fate. And watching you endure that pain hurts deeper than words can say, because no gentle soul deserves to be broken that way. Outside the rain keeps falling, neon flickers across the avenue, while strangers hurry beneath umbrellas, trying to outrun their blues. But here inside this smoky room, time slows with every refrain, and the trumpet keeps whispering softly, you don't have to live in pain. One day I hope you realize love should never feel like fear, never leave your spirit trembling every time someone draws near. You deserve midnight laughter, slow dancing beneath cafe lights, warm hands holding yours gently through long romantic nights. Not apologies after heartbreak, not tears after every fight, but tenderness steady as moonlight, arriving softly every night. The upright bass walks low and patient, like footsteps guiding someone home. And every jazz melody tonight begs you not to stay alone, because somewhere beyond this sadness, beyond these rainy city skies, there's still a love waiting quietly that won't make your spirit cry. And until that day finally finds you, through all this midnight blue, a tired soul will keep hurting softly every time life hurts you.
Tonight the city burns brighter, neon reflections on rain-soaked streets, while the jazz club downtown shakes softly with rhythm, whiskey, and heat. The doors swing open wide, trumpets rising bold and strong, and every restless soul inside looks ready to belong. The drummer hits a steady heartbeat, the upright bass rolls deep and low, while the piano dances wildly through the midnight glow. I walked in wearing confidence, like a dark velvet coat, carrying old heart
in silence, and fire inside my soul. Too many lonely nights behind me, too many roads walked alone. Now I'm done hiding in shadows, waiting beside the telephone. Tonight feels electric somehow, like thunder before the rain, like the moment a tired dreamer finally breaks his chains. The saxophone screams with passion, sharp as lightning through the blue. And every note inside this room feels dangerous and true. Beautiful women move slowly under chandeliers shining gold, their laughter mixing with jazz smoke, and stories waiting to unfold. I raise my glass toward the bandstand, whiskey burning warm and bright, because some nights aren't made for sorrow, they're made for coming alive tonight. No more staring through windows, no more drowning in regret. Life moves too quickly for fear, and hearts unfinished yet. The singer leans into the microphone, voice rough like aged wine, turning every restless heartbeat into rhythm, perfectly in time. Outside the storm keeps rolling, thunder shaking city skies, but inside this little jazz club, the whole world feels alive. Every trumpet blast says freedom, every piano chord says move, every slow dancing silhouette reminds me I still have something to prove. Not through anger, not through violence, but through passion, through desire, through living loudly enough to set the soul on fire. Because love and jazz share something, both demand complete surrender, both can leave you shattered, both can make life tender. So tonight the city burns brighter, neon reflections on rain-soaked streets, while the jazz club downtown shakes softly with rhythm, whiskey and heat. The doors swing open wide, trumpets rising bold and strong, and every restless soul inside looks ready to belong. The drummer hits a steady heartbeat, The upright bass rolls deep and low, while the piano dances wildly through the midnight glow. I walked in wearing confidence, like a dark velvet coat, carrying old heartbreak in silence and fire inside my soul. Too many lonely nights behind me, too many roads walked alone. Now I'm done hiding in the shadows, waiting beside the telephone. Tonight feels electric somehow, like thunder before the rain.
The summer rain arrived after midnight, soft against the cafe glass, while warm jazz drifted through the city, like a dream too sweet to last. Inside the room the lights glowed honey gold, candles flickering low and slow, and the trumpet moved like velvet smoke across the midnight glow. You always came and disappeared, like a restless wandering breeze, leaving perfume in the hallway and chaos in me with ease. Some lovers arrive quietly, soft as moonlight on the sea, but you carried wild electricity every time you touched me. The piano rolled smooth and playful, the drummer brushed light and sweet, while couples danced beneath chandeliers in slow romantic heat. I still remember your laughter, the way your eyes caught candlelight, turning smoky little jazz bars into paradise at night. Then suddenly you'd vanish again, gone for days without a word, leaving only empty silence and memories that still hurt. I'd spend long rainy evenings watching lonely streets below, listening for footsteps returning through the midnight glow. Because no matter how far you wander, no matter what roads you chased, part of you always returned here to this old familiar place. Maybe love is like jazz music, beautiful because it moves free,
never fully meant for cages, only rhythm and mystery. Still, when you stay gone too long, the whole city changes tone. The trumpet sounds colder somehow, and every room feels alone. Tonight the saxophone rises softly, warm as bourbon, deep as flame, and every note drifting through the cafe still whispers your name. Outside the skyline shimmers silver, rain falling slow and blue, while somewhere beyond these avenues I keep waiting for you. Not to own you, not to hold you forever, only to feel your warmth again. Beside this stormy weather, the upright bass keeps walking gently, like tired footsteps heading home. And every jazz refrain tonight feels afraid to be alone. So if the night winds guide you back past neon signs and midnight streams, you'll find me here beside the window, still tangled inside your dreams. And somewhere beneath these rainy heavens, where romance and sorrow roam, a lonely heart keeps humming softly, come back home.
The night train waits beneath the rain, engine humming soft and low, while neon reflections tremble across streets that don't want you to go. Inside the little jazz cafe, the lights burn amber through the storm, and lonely strangers gather quietly, searching for somewhere warm. The trumpet cries beside the piano, slow and aching through the blue, like a tired soul begging softly for one more night with you. Baby, don't leave this city tonight, not while the moon still hangs this low, not while the jazz still wraps around us like memories we already know. Turn the lamp down gently, let the room fall dim and gold. Let midnight hide our broken hearts before the dawn turns cold. Outside the highways
wings call your name, pulling you toward distant towns, toward old trains, wet stations, and roads where love slowly drowns. But stay here a little longer, just until the storm passes through, until the saxophone finishes crying everything I can't say to you. I know another man may hold you, maybe he already does, and maybe I was only temporary inside your restless love. But still tonight I can't pretend that losing you feels right, because some people become part of us long before goodbye arrives. The drummer brushes soft like heartbeat, the upright bass walks deep and slow, and every jazz refrain tonight feels afraid to let you go. I packed my old suitcase earlier, thought about leaving town, driving far beyond these memories before they pulled me down. But every road looked empty, every motel sign burned blue, and every lonely highway somehow still reminded me of you. So now I sit beside the window, whiskey glowing in my hand, watching rain slide down the glass like tears I barely understand. Maybe tomorrow we'll disappear, become strangers once again, just two wandering souls remembered by midnight jazz and rain. But tonight beneath these city lights, before the final curtain falls, stay close enough to hear the music echo through these smoky walls. And somewhere beyond the thunder, beyond heartbreak's endless flow, a weary heart keeps whispering softly, baby, please don't go. Please don't go. Before the sunrise touched the skyline, I was already awake, sitting alone beside the window, watching the dark begin to break. Rain slid slowly down the glass, streetlights fading pale and blue, while an old jazz record turned softly through memories of you.
trumpet sounded tired tonight, low as smoke above the sea, and every trembling piano note felt written personally for me. Some mornings loneliness arrives early, before the city starts to breathe, settling heavy on the shoulders, like winter wrapped beneath the sleeves. I poured another glass of whiskey, though the bottle nearly ran dry, trying to silence all the questions that keep wandering through my mind. Outside the avenue looked endless, cold beneath silver dawn, while somewhere distant train whistles cried like love already gone. It feels sometimes the whole world changes when one heart walks away, turning crowded rooms into emptiness by the breaking of the day. The drummer brushed soft like falling rain, the upright bass moved deep and slow, and every jazz melody tonight carried wounds I already know. I spent the whole long afternoon lost somewhere inside my head, thinking about roads not taken, and all the words left unsaid. The blues have a way of finding people, no matter where they run, following tired dreamers quietly until the day is done. Still somewhere beneath the sorrow, a fragile hope survives, like candlelight inside old cafés, refusing not to shine. Maybe tomorrow I'll leave this city, drive far beyond the storm, find some roadside jazz bar glowing with windows amber and warm, a place where strangers still understand how heartbreak bends a soul, where slow saxophones and midnight rain can somehow make you whole. Because healing never arrives quickly, it moves gentle as the tide, through lonely nights, through fading memories, through tears we try to hide. And though your love still hurts me, though your silence cuts so deep, I know no broken heart was ever healed by refusing sleep. So tonight I let the music hold me, let the storm pass overhead, while jazz wraps around my loneliness, like words never fully said. And somewhere beyond these rainy streets,
beyond regret and midnight blue. A weary soul keeps searching softly for peace beyond losing you.
Tonight the rain falls softer, like heaven mourning quietly alone. While an old jazz trumpet trembles through the silence of the storm. The city feels distant somehow. Its neon lights blurred and weak, as if every glowing window carries memories too tired to speak. Inside the dim cafe on the corner, candles flicker golden low, and the piano moves like moonlight across a soul-worn slope. There comes a night for every dreamer, when the road feels endless and cold, when memory is way heavier than the stories left untold. I sit beside the fogged up window, watching midnight pass me by, thinking about how fragile life becomes beneath these winter skies. The saxophone cries long and lonely, deep as rivers after rain, and every note feels stitched together from heartbreak, dust and pain. One day all travelers disappear, every singer, every wandering soul, leaving only fading echoes inside old records worn by time. That's why jazz sounds eternal, because it understands goodbye, the beauty of temporary moments, the ache of watching years fly by. I don't fear the silence waiting at the far end of the road. I only hope the love I carried leave some gentle trace to hold. Remember me beside candlelight, with whiskey resting in my hand, listening to midnight music while rain moved across the land. Remember the smoky laughter, the slow dances dressed in blue, the fragile warmth
trying to make it through. The drummer brushes softly tonight, like footsteps fading into snow, while the upright bass keeps walking toward places we all must go. Outside, two pale headlights shimmer through dark streets soaked in rain, like distant horses pulling slowly beyond sorrow, beyond pain. And somewhere underneath the thunder, beyond the skyline cold and gray, a tired man keeps singing softly before the music fades away. Because life is only borrowed moonlight, a brief song beneath the stars, and every soul eventually vanishes like smoke from old jazz bars. So when my final evening comes, and these restless nights are through, lay me somewhere peaceful, where the rain still sings the blues. Let the trumpet play one last time, let the piano whisper low, and let the midnight city remember a lonely heart that loved too slow.
Well, I'm gonna get up in the morning, get to Highway 49. Well, about my sweet woman, ooh, well, she don't pay poor Joey no mind. Well, if you ever had the blues, get to Highway 49. Well, about sweet woman, ooh, well, boys, she trying to throw poor Joey down. I'm going to wake well, I'm gonna get in the morning. I believe I'll dust my bed, going down the Highway 49. Ooh, well, boys, I'll be rocking to my head. This morning I'll be rolling in Jackson Town. Lord, I'm tired of laying around. Ooh, well, boys, on Highway 49.
Transmen ulang totul percintaan. Tiada akhir versi jazz. Last night the city wouldn't sleep. Rain whispering against my room, while distant jazz from down the avenue drifted softly through the gloom. I lay awake beside the window, cigarette burning low and slow, watching neon reflections tremble across the streets below. Then suddenly a restless feeling wrapped itself around my chest, like some invisible hand was calling me far beyond the west. So I grabbed my old black coat, my guitar worn smooth with years, and walked alone beneath the midnight sky, heavy with forgotten tears. The trumpet cried from a hidden bar, warm and lonely through the rain, while the piano rolled like moonlight across my wandering brain. Sometimes the road keeps calling, even when you try to stay, like a wild wind inside your spirit, pulling your soul away. Imagine myself like a river creature, swimming somewhere deep and blue, free beneath endless dark water, far away from missing you. Maybe then love couldn't wound me, maybe then I'd drift untouched. No late night heartbreak, no empty rooms, no memories hurting this much. But every lonely travel learns you can't outrun your mind, because sorrow rides beside you no matter where you hide. So I wander toward an old church, standing quiet beneath the storm. Its stained glass windows glowing faintly, like a fragile place still warm. Inside the silence felt sacred, candles flickered soft and gold, And for a moment all my chaos began to loosen its hold. I dropped slowly to my knees there, hearing thunder shake the night, trying to pray through all the sadness, but no words arrived right. Only memories filled the silence, your laughter, your touch, your name, like slow jazz melodies lingering long after the music changed. The drummer brushed somewhere distant, the upright bass moved low and deep, and every echo through the church hall sounded like promises we couldn't keep. Maybe heaven understands lonely souls, the ones wandering city streets alone, searching for tenderness in strangers and warmth that feels like home. Outside the rain kept falling, silver beneath midnight blue, while somewhere far beyond the skyline I kept thinking of you. And even now the west still calls me, beyond these smoky cafe lights, toward highways filled with moonlight and endless romantic nights. But no matter how far I travel, no matter what dreams I pursue, every slow jazz road eventually still somehow leads back to you. Last night the city wouldn't sleep. Last night the city wouldn't sleep. Last night the city wouldn't sleep. Rain whispering against my room, while distant jazz from down the avenue drifted softly through the gloom. I lay awake beside the window, cigarette burning low and slow, watching neon reflections tremble across the streets below. Then suddenly a restless feeling.
Tonight the whole sky is crying, rain pouring down the avenue, streetlights melting into silver beneath a midnight soaked in blue. The city feels wounded somehow, like every building knows my pain, and every lonely jazz melody falls softly with the rain. I sit beside the cafe window, watching droplets race the glass, while slow piano chords keep echoing like memories that never pass. This morning I saw you walking slowly down the street. Your silhouette beneath gray skies made my restless heart skip a beat. For one beautiful little moment, the world felt alive again, like all the broken pieces inside me could somehow heal in the rain. But then you disappeared beyond the corner, into crowds and fading light, leaving only your perfume lingering inside another sleepless night. The trumpet cries low and trembling, the drummer brushes soft and deep, and the upright bass keeps walking through promises we couldn't keep. Love can vanish quietly, not with anger, not with war, but slowly like smoke through open windows, until it lives there no more. And tonight I feel that distance, cold as winter on the sea, that terrible silence whispering, you no longer belong to me. Outside the rain keeps falling harder, sliding down my lonely door, like heaven itself understands what heartbreak is for. Still every part of this city carries traces of your name. Every cafe, every station, every midnight soaked in rain. I remember dancing beside you under dim romantic light, your laughter blending with saxophones until dawn dissolved the night. Now those same songs sound different, sadder somehow, older too, because music changes forever once it loses you. The piano trembles beautifully tonight, like a soul trying not to break. And somewhere beneath the thunder, another lonely heart stays awake. Maybe tomorrow the storm will clear, maybe these aching skies turn gold, but tonight the rain and jazz together feel too heavy to hold. So I remain beside this window, whiskey untouched in my hand, listening to the city cry softly, like it finally understands. And somewhere beneath these endless clouds, beyond the sorrow and midnight blue, a tired soul keeps searching quietly for one more glimpse of you.
night train was already waiting beneath clouds heavy with rain. Its whistle cutting through the city like a slow romantic refrain. Streetlights shimmered on wet pavement, neon glowing soft and blue, while jazz drifted from a corner cafe, like memories leading back to you. I stood beside the station platform with my old coat pulled tight, watching strangers disappear into the silver midnight. The trumpet played low and smoky, the piano rolled warm and slow, and somewhere inside the storm, my restless heart wouldn't let go. You always moved like freedom, wild as horses under moonlit skies, the kind of woman impossible to hold. No matter how hard one tries, still I love the way you laughed softly, the way your eyes caught candlelight, turning ordinary little moments into something endless at night. The telephone line stopped working after thunder crossed the town, and rain kept falling harder like heaven breaking down. Inside the jazz club nearby, couples swayed close together, trying to hold on to warmth against the stormy weather. The drummer brushed the rhythm gently, the upright bass moved deep and slow, while the saxophone cried beautifully for hearts that fear letting go. You once told me love scared you, that promises felt too tight, that forever sounded dangerous to a soul built for flight. And maybe I understood you, because part of me was the same, a wandering spirit chasing music more than fortune or fame. I never dreamed about marriage or golden rings shining bright. I only wanted your company through long romantic nights, just two souls beside the window, watching rain slide down the glass, listening to old jazz records while midnight hours passed. Outside the skyline flickered silver, trains vanished into blue, and every lonely traveler there looked like they were missing someone too. Maybe love isn't possession, maybe it's simply staying near, sharing warmth beneath the thunder when the world feels cold and unclear. So tonight I keep remembering your perfume mixed with rain, your silhouette beside the station before the final train. And somewhere beneath these midnight heavens, where slow jazz and sorrow blend, a wandering heart still hopes some loves never completely end.
Tonight the whole city glows softer, like moonlight resting on the sea. And every slow jazz melody feels written for you and me. Inside the candlelit cafe, the trumpet sings warm and low, while rain slides gently down the windows in silver midnight flow. You walk beside me slowly, velvet dress beneath amber light, turning every ordinary moment into something magical tonight. Some people spend their whole lives searching for a love that feels true, but somehow the stars were merciful the night they led me to you. You are the calm inside my chaos, the warmth beneath winter skies, the reason tired, lonely roads still feel alive in my eyes. The piano rolls like soft laughter, the drummer brushes smooth as wine, and every heartbeat in this room moves perfectly with mine. When you hold my hand gently, the whole world disappears. No more restless midnight wandering, no more old hidden fears. Love with you feels timeless, like jazz records that never age, the kind of romance old musicians
spend lifetimes trying to play. Outside the skyline flickers silver, taxis drift beneath the rain. But inside your smile keeps glowing through every joy and pain. I love the way you move slowly, like poetry wrapped in blue, like candle flames dancing softly. Whenever I look at you, and if another man ever tried to break what we have apart, he'd learn quickly how fiercely a devoted soul can guard its heart. Because loving you changed everything, turned darkness into gold, made even lonely winter nights feel warmer than before. The saxophone rises gently, deep and sweet as aged wine, while couples sway beneath chandeliers, losing all sense of time. Tonight I raise my glass quietly to endless romance and truth, to the rare kind of love that stays beautiful beyond youth. And somewhere beneath these rainy heavens, where jazz and moonlight blend, two hearts keep dancing slowly together, like they never want the night to end.
Tonight the city feels alive. Neon lights dancing through the rain, and every jazz cafe downtown calling strangers by their names. The doors swing open wide, warm trumpet music fills the air, while laughter rises toward the ceiling, like freedom floating everywhere. People gather beneath golden lights, young hearts, old souls, dreamers in velvet coats, couples moving slowly across the floor, like they've forgotten tomorrow exists. The piano rolls smooth and joyful, the drummer brushes bright and fast, and the upright bass keeps walking, like it never wants the night to pass. Tonight isn't meant for sadness, not for lonely thoughts or regret.
This is one of those rare evenings where the whole world seems to forget. Forget the bills, forget the heartbreak, forget the endless city noise. Just whiskey glasses clinking softly and midnight filled with joy. Outside the rain keeps falling, silver against the avenue, but inside the jazz keeps glowing in shades of amber and blue. The singer leans into the microphone, voice warm as aged wine, while strangers laugh together like old friends reunited by time. Some nights life moves too quickly, and people spend years standing still, waiting for perfect moments instead of chasing the thrill. But tonight the music says differently. Dance while your heart still can. Love while the moon still shines. Hold someone close while the band still plays. Because life slips by like smoke, fast as trains beneath the rain. And one day all these midnight memories become songs we can't explain. So raise another glass tonight, call your friends onto the floor. Let the saxophone pull you closer to the people you adore. The city outside may stay restless, the world may still turn cold, but for a few beautiful hours, this little jazz club glows gold. The bartender keeps pouring slowly, candles flicker beside the stage, and every soul inside this room feels younger than their age. No one cares where you came from, no one asks about your scars, because tonight we belong to rhythm, to moonlight, to music, to stars. So let the laughter echo loudly, let romance drift through the blue, and let these slow romantic jazz songs carry the night for me and you, until dawn arrives softly and the final trumpet fades low. We'll keep dancing through midnight and letting the good times roll.
I was raised beneath cold city lights, where winter wind moved through the streets, and old blues records echoed softly from smoke-filled corners after dark. The skyline stood hard and restless, steel and shadows everywhere, while sirens sang through midnight avenues like sorrow hanging in the air. My father once sat beside me at our tiny kitchen table alone, whiskey glass catching yellow light, his tired face carved like stone. He said, "Son, this world turns rough sometimes. Learn early how to survive, because not every dreamer in this city makes it out alive." Those words stayed buried inside me long after childhood disappeared, after the nights grew colder and the streets became what we feared. I watched old friends fade too quickly, some swallowed by anger and pain, some disappearing into darkness like headlights lost in rain. One friend carried laughter everywhere, could turn any room into gold, but the city took his bright young spirit before either of us grew old. Another chased impossible freedom, running wild through midnight skies, until life cornered him quietly behind exhausted eyes. Now every familiar avenue feels haunted by memory and smoke, and every slow jazz melody sounds like promises we broke. The trumpet cries low tonight, the saxophone bends deep and blue, while the upright bass walks lonely through stories painfully true. Sometimes I sit inside old cafés, watching strangers drift through rain, wondering how many hidden battles each soul quietly contains. Because cities can harden dreamers, can turn warm hearts into stone, especially when too many nights are faced alone. Still somewhere beneath the sorrow, a small flame survives in me, kept alive by music, moonlight, and old romantic harmony. The drummer brushes soft and weary, like footsteps fading down the hall, and the piano keeps remembering those we couldn't save at all. Maybe life was never about escaping, maybe it's learning how to endure, how to keep tenderness alive inside a world uncertain and cruel. So tonight I raise my glass quietly to every soul the city changed, to lost friends, broken dreamers, and lives rearranged. Outside the skyline glows silver, rain washing over old pain, while jazz continues breathing softly through every midnight train. And somewhere beyond the storm clouds, beyond the loneliness and blue, a tired man still believes
to.
The train arrived just after midnight, its whistle fading into rain, while the city stood glowing distant, like a dream wrapped in pain. I stepped onto unfamiliar streets, with a worn coat and tired shoes, carrying nothing but an old guitar and a heart full of blues. Cold wind moved through the avenue, neon lights trembling on the ground, and every passing stranger felt like they belonged somewhere I hadn't found. The jazz cafe still breathed softly, warm behind fog-covered glass, where silhouettes dance slowly together as lonely hours passed. I stood beneath a flickering street lamp, rain soaking through my sleeves, watching smoke curl from open doorways into the restless evening breeze. Tonight I'm only a traveler, a soul with nowhere left to go, searching for one kind face inside this endless midnight glow. The trumpet cries from somewhere nearby, low and tender through the storm, and the piano sounds like memories trying to stay warm. I wish you could see me now, standing beneath these silver skies, half lost between old heartbreak and tomorrow's uncertain sunrise. Sometimes all a lonely man needs is one room filled with light, one voice saying softly, stay here tonight. Not forever, not promises, not chains, just temporary shelter from the rain. The drummer brushes slow and gentle, the upright bass walks deep and blue, while every jazz melody tonight
feels like it's searching too. Maybe the city will forget me. Maybe I'll leave before the dawn. Another stranger disappearing quietly by the time the night is gone. But for now, beneath these rainy heavens, I keep moving street to street, following music through the darkness like tired wandering feet. Because somewhere inside every jazz club, there's a little mercy still alive, a place where broken dreamers gather, just trying to survive. So if you see a lonely traveler standing outside in midnight rain, let him inside beside the music until the storm softens again. And somewhere beneath these glowing skylines, where old romantic blues drift through, a weary stranger keeps believing there's still kindness left in you.
The rain hasn't stopped for hours, soft against the city glass, while midnight jazz keeps drifting through memories that never pass. Inside the old cafe downtown, the lights burn low and gold, and the trumpet sings so slowly, like a wounded heart growing old. I tell myself I should leave you, walk away and disappear, but every lonely road I travel still somehow leads back here. Love can become dangerous, not loud, not wild, but quiet like smoke, slowly filling every corner, until the soul begins to choke. You entered my life like moonlight, warm against my restless nights, turning broken little moments into something that felt right. Yet somewhere along the way, the tenderness became pain, and every sweet memory afterward arrived carrying rain. The piano trembles softly tonight, the drummer brushes low and slow, while the upright bass keeps walking, like somewhere else I should go. I tried pretending I was stronger, pretending I could let you fade. But some loves carve themselves too deeply to simply be erased. Now exhaustion hangs around me like the final song at dawn, when the last dancers leave the ballroom and the magic feeling's gone. Still, even through the heartbreak, through every sleepless blue, my soul refuses surrender, because it still belongs to you. That's the tragedy of certain romances. They survive beyond reason, beyond pride, beyond goodbye, like winter refusing another season. Sometimes I feel so tired I could disappear into the night, just become another lonely shadow beneath flickering streetlight light. But then the saxophone rises softly, warm as bourbon, deep as truth, and reminds me every broken heart is simply proof of loving deeply in youth. Outside the skyline glows silver, rain washing neon into streams, while strangers pass beneath umbrellas, carrying their unfinished dreams. And somewhere in this endless city, inside candlelight and blues, a weary man keeps singing softly for a woman he cannot lose. Maybe someday time will heal this, maybe the ache will finally slow. But tonight, beneath these jazz melodies, I only know I still can't let go. So I remain inside this smoky room, listening to the storm outside, while love and sorrow dance together like the turning of the tide. And every moan of the trumpet tonight, every trembling piano refrain still whispers your name gently through the velvet midnight rain.
Further on down these midnight highways, beyond the neon and the rain, there comes a night when every heart finally understands its pain. Tonight the jazz club glows softly, amber lights against the storm, while
Our lonely souls keep gathering, searching for somewhere warm. You sit there laughing with strangers, champagne sparkling in your hand, like heartbreak could never touch you, like life would always bend to your plans. But the trumpet knows better tonight. It's cry deep, smoky and blue, because every wandering heart eventually feels sorrow passing through. I once loved you without caution, like a fool chasing endless flame, giving every piece of my soul just to hear you say my name. Yet love built on careless shadows never stays untouched for long, because what we give to others returns somehow before too long. The piano drifts through the cafés slowly, the drummer brushes soft as regret, and every note feels like memories neither of us can forget. One day somewhere farther down the road, when midnight feels cold and endless, you may remember these rainy nights and how deeply I once held this. Maybe another love will break you, the way your silence once broke me, leaving you staring through lonely windows at a city you no longer see. Maybe then the blues will find you, not through anger but through truth, because pain has a strange way of humbling restless youth. Still, I don't wish you suffering, not after all we lived through. I only hope life teaches gently what love was trying to teach you. Outside the skyline flickers silver, taxis vanish through the rain. Inside the upright bass keeps walking through old romantic pain. And somewhere beneath the saxophone echoes, beyond the whiskey and candlelight glow, a tired man finally learns when it's time to let go. Some goodbyes are necessary, even when the heart protests. Sometimes love survives only by finally being laid to rest. So if someday you think about me while another storm rolls through, remember there was once a man who saw
inside you. And though the road kept pulling us apart, though the night turned cold and blue, the jazz will always carry softly a piece of me and you.